Paul George, he's officially left the Clippers because he wanted that max money. They said, nah. So he went to the 76ers. Yes, the Philadelphia 76ers. And he's going to be their number 2 option behind Joel Embiid, I guess. It's going to be him, Maxey,
Jared McCain.
Embiid, Jared McCain, and Andre Drummond, because they just got Andre Drummond, although that means nothing.
Rebounding machine.
Yeah, okay. I guess. But hey, Paul George to the Sixers. I'm not moved by that move at all. Like, they're going to be great in the regular season, like the Sixers always are. You know, they got Paul George. He's going to be great in the regular season, too. And then the playoffs are going to come and somebody's going to – I mean, I don't want them to get hurt, but it seems to literally always happen. So that move doesn't – it does nothing for me. I'm not going to lie to you.
I ain't going to lie. There's certain things Paul George just needs to stop saying. One of those things being, I'm really finna be on my bully. You got to stop saying shit like that. There's no reason for you to say it at this point. When are you going to be on your bully?
I feel like he's always on his, like Paul George. We know how good you are. You're a great player.
You're good.
We know
you're
that.
Good. You're good.
It's you saying I'm being on my bully. It's not gonna
It's
not gonna help them. Like the Sixers will be. They will be a great regular season team. They're not. I don't see them winning a championship just because. They just feel like that collection of players is unlike what they have bad plot. They have bad plot.
Clipper East. Who you calling it? Clipper East. This is what you.
I mean, literally, like these past, like historically, they're not the Clippers East, but these past few years, it's literally Clippers East. All these expectations and keep getting hurt.
Injury. Yeah, like I don't want Joel Embiid to get injured.
Yeah, we don't want any of them to get hurt. It just
happens every year, and I can't just ignore it anymore. Like at some point, I gotta be like, oh, I gotta take this into account, bro. And Paul George, like I said, stop saying on your bully. It's fine, bro. We know how good you are, and we kind of brushed 2020 under the rug anyway. With Paul George, a lot of people are like kind of confused about like, y'all just let that nigga walk for free. Like y'all didn't do X, Y, and Z, da da da. And honestly, I can understand why some people would feel a certain kind of way about Clippers not doing X, Y, and Z. But when you look at that second apron, man, when it comes to free agency and basically to keep it short and sweet, the second apron is basically something that is used to damn near punish super teams for real. Like it's not something that it kind of keeps the balance and control of the NBA. So I think some of the penalties, if you're in a second apron, is no mid-level exceptions. Like you cannot sign anybody on a mid-level exception because you have so much money invested in your quote unquote super team that you can't do that. You cannot buy out players. You cannot sign people that were on buyouts. Like anybody that got bought out mid-season, you're not eligible to get them. Your first round picks are frozen for like the 7 years forward. So you can't trade those, which is why you will start seeing things like, oh, they traded for a 2032 first round pick, because that's like one of the more eligible ones that you can do if you are in the second apron. Another thing that you can't do, you cannot take on extra salary, or you can't take on salary during trades. It has to be exact, or you have to like take on less. And finally, the most important one is if you are in the second apron for consecutive years, your first round pick gets relegated to the 30th pick, no questions asked, no matter how you end.
That's insane.
How you end the season, no matter how bad or good it was, if you are in the second apron for consecutive years, 30th pick. So that's what the Clippers and maybe the Suns, like those are things that they are looking at before signing niggas like Paul George to a max. It's just not going to happen because they feel like that you're not going to get us to a championship more than us going a route where we have more flexibility as like franchise to move some pieces around. So it is what it is, but that's crazy.
That second apron crazy.
That second apron, it was made I mean, it was made for there to be a lack of super teams, and lo
It
and
feels
behold,
like it's going to be a lack of super teams. It's gonna. I feel like it's gonna. This whole apron and all that stuff. I think it's gonna make a lot of. It's gonna cause a lot of players to just change teams now. It's gonna look very weird. Like you're gonna see, like Paul George in the Sixers jersey. It's weird. Like why is that happening?
true.
It's gonna be very ugly. Klay Thompson in a Mavericks jersey.
Yeah.
Weird. And
Very
speaking of
good.
Klay Thompson, he's signed with the Mavericks. Splash Brothers is no more, unfortunately.
Yeah, and that's all the Warriors' fault. Um,
It's all Draymond. Well,
it's the front office. It's the
yeah,
Warriors'
I was
fault.
gonna say it's all Draymond's fault, but no, it's the Warriors' fault as a whole because they could have nipped all this in the bud. But
Tame that nigga or send that nigga away. You know what I mean? Like you cannot gaslight me. Yes, Draymond Green is a very pivotal piece of why the shit went into explosion the way it did. That being said, y'all still had all the control in your hands, and what did you decide to do? Give that nigga 4 years, 100 mil.
mm-mm.
That's what you decided to do after allowing that man to assault a light skinned player. Granted, he was light skinned. I get it. But come on, bro. On company time, you do that shit off
He
the court, bro.
said Clay. Clay was trying to make a deal because, as it says right here, his last proposal to the Warriors was a 2-year contract for $20 million a year, and the Warriors were just like, we can't do it. And Clay, he had more. He had offers for more money to go with the Lakers as well. And I know his dad, who used to play for the Lakers, really wanted Clay to go there. But Clay said, "Nah, I want to go to the Mavericks because we got a better chance of winning a chip."
Right?
And that's an accurate statement. He has a much better chance of winning with the Mavs than he does with the Lakers. So, man, it's going to be super duper weird seeing him
In a Mavs jersey.
Yeah. And will he even be number 11? Because Kyrie number 11 now. Like he might change his. It's gonna be so weird.
Yeah, I don't know what his number gonna be. Because Kyrie used to be 2, and then he stopped and changed it to 11 at some point. So, that'll be interesting. I'm not ready to see Klay Thompson in Mavericks threads, like a sea blue jersey. I just don't really do it.
I've never liked the Mavericks jerseys. I'm not gonna lie. I'm
I
not a
don't
Mavericks
like.
jerseys fan.
There's not a jersey that I fuck with from the Mavs. There's not even an alternate jersey that I'm just like,
No, I
this
think they
shit's
got
not
like
so crazy.
one of like their older. I think they have an old
green?
school jersey. No, it's white.
Mm.
I've seen that green. I don't like the old green one they have. No,
Yeah, I don't know.
I
Yeah,
don't like their jerseys, but I don't know. Seeing Clay in the Mavs jersey is gonna be weird, but I think if Clay has a little bit something left, then it's gonna go well for them. But the fit's a little odd though, because Luka's the point guard, obviously. Kyrie's gonna be shooting guard, obviously. Is Clay gonna be your 3? Because
yeah,
he can't really move like that anymore.
I just feel like it's gonna be.
Because Clay not coming off the bench. I don't think he. No.
I don't think he's coming off the bench. Even if he did come off the bench,
I think it'd be better if he came off the bench, but I just don't think I don't think Clay's in that.
I just feel like Luka just gonna have that nigga in the corner. You know what I mean? Like I just don't see.
Like, he gonna be moving. He gonna be moving around.
Nah, but like he gonna be moving around. But sometimes, like I'm not saying that the offense always stays still, but sometimes Luka do be getting in that bag. He getting a little Harden bag, and it's like, all right, my nigga, we kind of had to stand still.
Yeah, him and Kyrie really
kick it out to Clay with 2 seconds left on the shot clock. Okay, I gotta,
Hey, Clay might split that hoe. He might.
Hey, old Clay, that's a threat. But I ain't gonna lie. This last season, that 0 for 10.
If Clay has anything left, now's the time to prove it. And I think his defense might be shot. His move, he's not gonna be fast and all that, but I think he's still gonna be able to. I think he'll get his shot back a little bit. He won't be like what he was before, but it's gonna be.
He gonna have a CP3 resurgence. Yeah. Like okay.
Speaking of CP3, goodness gracious, CP3, Chris Paul, the the proverbial the point god as they call him.
Why'd you air quote that?
Because he's not God, bro.
Respect that man.
Anyways, I'm a CP3. You a CP3 hater, so I don't want to hear it.
A hater is crazy. I appreciate his time with the Rockets. What you talking about?
Shut up. You're a CP3 hater.
No,
Anywho,
when have I ever hated on him?
Yes, you do. What?
When have I ever hated on him?
We were talking about when we were doing like the point guard rankings for sure.
When?
I think that was when Tunde was on.
Just because I want Magic Johnson over the nigga?
No, y'all called me crazy because I said he was one of them ones. Y'all said I was crazy.
I didn't call you crazy for calling him one of the ones.
Y'all like whatever, bro. Y'all was calling me crazy. Y'all or maybe y'all don't slander CP3. Y'all slander me for supporting CP3.
I think the problem maybe the problem was you viewed 40-year-old Chris Paul a little bit more than I viewed 40-year-old Chris Paul. Maybe that was.
I wasn't talking about 40. I'm talking about Chris Paul as a whole.
Yeah, I'm talking about whenever he was the Phoenix Suns, I just didn't have no high hopes for the nigga.
Whatever. Anyways, whatever. Chris Paul, he is now a San Antonio Spur.
Damn.
So we finna see. Everybody been crying about, oh my God, get Wemby a point guard. Get Wemby a point guard. Hey, you got the point. He got the point guard.
Like, that's fire. And it's like people can look at it a certain way because a part of niggas will be like, oh, give him a point guard. And then some ungrateful ass niggas are gonna be like, okay, but you gave that nigga a 07 BMW. Hey, that's still a BMW though.
Like you talking about you can't talk. If you're talking about point guards, no matter how old he is, unless he can't move, you can't talk about CP3.
Nigga, point guard.
You want the point guard. You got the point guard of point guards.
Going from Jeremy Shohan to anybody is an upgrade. But to get
the
point guard,
and Pop likes CP3. Like they probably see like the game the exact same. Like it's gonna work too well. I'm not gonna lie. And then you have Stephon Castle, who they just drafted. He's gonna be learning from that man too. Like, hey.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. It's crazy because our anniversary of like different videos were coming out, and it's funny the things we were talking about just a year ago versus what we're talking about now. Talking about, oh my God, seeing Chris Paul in the Warriors jersey is just gonna make me puke.
Yeah,
if it was for me, I would have stabbed him. I remember. Bro, we were so unhinged, bro. We were so unhinged.
Oh gosh.
But now we talking about this nigga being on the Spurs. I think it's gonna be a good fit. They're not gonna do much. Well, let me not say that.
No, I have a question for you, like regarding CP3. Like, does this mean that Chris Paul has just accepted his fate and like, you know what, I'm not gonna get a ring. Let me just go be mentor, or is he just a little bit crazy enough to be like, hey, Wemby needs a point guard. If I can unlock this demigod's potential with my passing, we might can squeeze into something.
If this was 2 years ago, I'll say yes. I think now, I'm not saying that he's accepted his fate. I'm just thinking, I think Chris Paul at this stage of his career thrives really well with not rebuilding situation. I don't know what I want to call it rebuilding situations, but
situations where you can mentor somebody.
Yeah, like he really thrives and like he's
really the one that made Shea. Like Shea was always gonna be good, but
he overachieves teams' expectations. I remember when he got sent to OKC.
He's a floor raiser for sure. Maybe not ceiling, but floor raiser. They're making the playoffs.
When he went to OKC and they said they had a 0.8 chance of making the playoffs. At first, that was one of the first times I looked at Daryl Morey kind of crazy. I'm like, my nigga, why the fuck would you trade that nigga to OKC? Like that's foul. And he made the best of that situation, and they made it to the fucking playoffs. And this was before a play-in was even invented. That was a legit 8 seed.
Yeah,
got that bitch out the motherfucking mud. I can't hate on that.
You can't hate on Chris Paul. Chris Paul just do what he do, bro. That's
introduced me to Lou Dort, nigga. He introduced me to Lou Dort. I remember him. Yeah. I'll forever remember that nigga. I ain't gonna hold you. That nigga cold. But with the Spurs, I'm not gonna sit here. I'm not gonna lie. My Spurs hatred is still gonna be there, but they're gonna threaten that plan. They're gonna threaten that plan just off of Chris Paul alone.
Yeah, they're not threatening to play in, bro. They're making the playoffs.
I'm not saying that. No, I ain't saying all that. No,
Hey, it's okay. I'll say it for the both of us. It's okay.
you're not saying that shit for me. I don't claim none of that shit. But they got a chance. They got a chance. They got a chance at that playing.
Hey man, we'll see.
Got a real chance at that playing, man.